He never got to respond to the point about Enoch. He got destroyed on that.
Did he?
There. He mentioned Jude saying it was a prophecy. Again, you missed the whole point about Jude. Jude is not using that to establish the truth of his worldview. And you should also show that Jude is quoting Enoch, because there are scholars that do debate that. So you need to actually deal with that.
Basically, he is saying that Jude is not saying the prophecy is to support Christianity. Jude was not using to justify his worldview, but instead as a corroboration for specific points.
Matthew, he said it's hyper literal, then he got destroyed on that.
Okay. Anyway, again, it says servants generally. Again, these are approximations. There is no mention of some future prophet after that is going to deliver a revelation. Why are you going these passages? They don't support your case. Or do you not believe in Surah 757 or Surah 61:6? These are not the
Thank you, Muhammad. Thank you so much, Michael Jones, for conceding that it does say that, because earlier you said it doesn't say that. Now you said, oh, well, it says servants. Yeah, I agree. The Prophet Muhammad and the companions who fit the description of servants were sent. And guess what? They were sent after 70 AD. So
immediately,
let me ask you.
Immediately after 70 AD, because that's the way these parables read it.
He is having to read the 600 years later, but with what justification?
Show me where it says immediate. Show me where it says. Show me where it says
immediate. The context. If you're preparing, it's in the context. If you're preparing the wedding feast, you don't let it sit for 600 years. I'm taking the hyperliteral timeline you want. We're going to go on that timeline. Has to happen right.
Verse, please. Mike, verse.
Yeah, okay, fine, I'll read it. Okay, so the king was angry and he sent his troops to destroy those murderers, burn the city. Then he said to his servants, the wedding feast is ready, but those invited were not worthy. So as soon as it's destroyed, he then says, okay, it's ready to go. So that follows.
Where does it say that it's immediate and has to happen right away?
It's in the context.
It's not. Can you show it?
Yes, I just read it for you, man.
No,
I don't know what to tell you.
Hey guys, I didn't see immediate or right after. Where does it say that?
Oh my gosh, that's an exact word fallacy, bro.
Overall, Mike attempted to have Libyano deal with the context of the parables and show how he is forcing the text to read as if the prophet will show up 600 years later without justification.
He said that the Roman army is God's army and he got destroyed on that.
And he couldn't answer me on the Roman Empire. Okay, I have pointed out he just laughed at the Ottomans' claim, which is weird. Okay, I argue the Roman Empire ended in 1204 when it broke up into smaller kingdoms. Same with the Western. That was never conquered by Islam. If we're going on this, though, if other people can come in and rule and claim to be Romans, like the Byzantines, who were Greek by descent, who spoke a different language, if they can claim to be Romans because they inherited the Roman Empire, even though they weren't Latin-speaking, ethnically Italians, then so can the Ottomans, so can the Russians. So can the Holy Roman Empire. But see, he doesn't deal with any of these historical issues because he can't. And he just acknowledged that. He conceded everything on that because he said, I don't know. I just go on what the secular historians say. But he won't do that when it comes to his interpretation of the Bible.
Jesus historically crucified and died. He failed. He thinks that we don't think that the first century Christians believe that Jesus crucified. And
No, he specifically did not know your position. Because your position is not the mainstream view. And as he notes, some of the main scholars believe that the disciples knew the truth. Because otherwise, as IP notes, the alternative is God allows a lie to be propagated, creating Christianity, which according to Islam is a religion of shirk, and goes against the position of the disciples being Muslims.
And he admitted that the crucifixion does not necessitate Christianity.
Sort of. But he was saying that the crucifixion is fundamental to Christianity, but said that our religion could still have existed without the crucifixion event.
He admitted 3 gods, hence Christianity can't be the monotheistic empire. He asked, is the kingdom of God monotheistic?
Sure, yeah.
Under classical logic, are there 3 gods?
Depends on how you formulate it. And that has nothing to do with the topic.
Yeah, it does. You said the kingdom of God is monotheistic, so Daniel's kingdom is supposed to be monotheistic. Under classical logic, if we counted the same way we count everything else, are there 3 gods?
Depends on how you're doing defining identity. It depends. And this, has nothing to do with Muhammad.
I said under absolute identity, are there 3 gods?
Define absolute identity. Give me a rigorous definition, because that's not a... What? Go ahead.
Under classical identity, are there 3 gods? Leibniz's
Again,
law.
you need to define, give me a rigor...
Leibniz's law. Under Leibniz's law, are there 3 gods?
It's irrelevant to the topic. This is not Tawhid versus Trinity, so you can actually keep on topic.
No, I'm going to ask again. Under Leibniz's law,
you can ask me again, but it doesn't have anything to do with the topic.
So you're not going to answer? Okay.
No, it's not about the topic. Only Muhammad's in the Bible. What is he doing?
All right, beautiful. No, it is on topic because the kingdom of God is supposed to be monotheistic. Did you admit in a clip that if we counted using the CCM under classical logic and the primitive notion of identity, classical identity, would there be 3 little g gods? You admitted that, right?
No, because that's taking things out of context. That was according to how he was defining identity. Can you debate the topic and not try to bring up past things?
So under that, there are 3 gods, right? Under that regimentation of identity, there's 3 gods, right?
Depends on how you define it. I don't even remember the conversation.
It depends, guys. So there's a sense in which there's three gods. Thank you so much, Michael Jones.
You can define identity in such a way that it just doesn't make sense. And then when you define identity, let me answer my question.
The kingdom of God is three gods.
He doesn't want me to answer because he knows I'm going to show this nonsense.
Guys. All right.
So no, Mike did not admit to three gods. He said the way someone described identity and applying it the way he did would lead that direction. There are many things that we could do that to, even Tawheed. If things aren't done properly, you will get bad results. Shocker.
Admitted that according to scholarship, Jesus spoke of Ahmed to come, who will sit on the right hand of God, who will be the Son of Man, to usher in the kingdom of God. Can we describe the Son of Man as the most glorified human figure?
Sure. Yeah. What verse are you referring to? I need to know.
Okay.
What specifically
Well,
verse
that's all. I just from the cumulative case that Jesus makes in the Gospels about the Son of Man, he's the most glorified. Awesome. Now, according to German scholarship, according to Adela Collins, E.P. Sanders, Bart Ehrman, and Rudolf Bultmann, did Jesus speak of the Son of Man as a distinct figure from himself, sitting on the right hand of God?
According to those scholars, but not according to Mark.
Okay, according to that scholarship, did Jesus speak of the Son of Man as a distinct future figure who will sit on the right hand of God and bring God's kingdom?
As I said, according to those scholars, but not according to the Gospel of Mark, as
okay,
admits.
All right, so that's a yes. Beautiful. So that's the scholarly position of those scholars. Beautiful.
It's one.
Now,
Yeah.
What does Ahmed mean in Arabic?
Most praised one, I believe.
Most glorified. So you mean to tell me that in scholarship, Jesus spoke about somebody who's Ahmed, the most glorified, as a distinct figure who will come in the future distinct from himself?
This is about Muhammad in the Bible, not what these scholars say.
Can you answer that? According to these scholars, did Jesus speak about Ahmed, distinct Son of Man figure who will come in the future sitting on the right hand of God?
No, they did not speak about Ahmed. They spoke about the Son of Man.
Did you say the Son of Man is the most glorified?
He is the most glorified in the Gospels. Yes.
Does Ahmed mean most glorified?
You say so.
Thank you very much. That's the debate, ladies and gentlemen. IB says that Ahmed will come according to this scholarship. Thank you very much.
Notice the leap he made. IP said that those scholars believed Jesus was speaking about a distinct figure. But that's only their view. Libyano is not debating them, so it's already a bad argument since other scholars do disagree, and as does IP. Mark makes it clear that he believes Jesus is this figure, and Libyano makes no argument to suggest why IP should side with the scholars. Even more, Libyano plugs Ahmed as a name, which is not what the scholars say, nor is it what IP conceded to. IP says that the scholars believe it was a distinct figure. Libyano added Ahmed to that. Also, it is a stretch to say Ahmed fits for glories. I know you can make that argument, but it does not fit the text without forcing it into Islamic theology. But Mike does bring another strong point.
All right, are you going to let me actually respond now instead of letting you actually let me respond? Because Ehrman says in his book when Jesus became... You going to let me respond now? Okay, Ehrman says in his debate book, when did Jesus become God? I think you need to understand that for Mark himself, the author of this gospel, Jesus is the Son of Man. Jesus is coming back in glory. Those scholars you're citing are saying that the historical Jesus said the Son of Man was distinct. But that's not what is presented in the gospel. The debate topic is Muhammad in the Bible, not is Muhammad in the works of Bart Ehrman. So can you stay on topic, please?
He admitted that prophecies can be taken out of context as long as they're typological. In John 41, does Jesus fulfill that?
John 41?
The one who ate my bread will turn against me. Did Jesus fulfill John 41, verse 9? The one who ate my bread will turn against me, according to John 12.
There is no John 41.
Psalm 41. About? Psalm 41 and John 12. Psalm 41, my bad.
So Psalm 41.
Yeah. The one who ate my bread will turn against me. Typologically.
In a typological sense, yeah.
Does he fulfill the context?
He fulfills that typological aspect.
I didn't ask that. Does he fulfill the context?
I don't know.
He doesn't feel... Okay, well, let me help you. In verse 4, the same speaker says, Lord, forgive me for I have sinned against you. Does he fulfill that?
Well, no, because he didn't sin.
Oh, okay. So Jesus fulfills a verse out of context?
I know he fulfills stuff typologically. So it's
okay. Is that out of context?
Is that out of context?
Is that out of context? Though?
What is out of context? This doesn't make any sense.
Does Jesus only fulfill one verse out of the context?
Yes, because it's a typology. Yeah.
Okay, so you could fulfill a prophecy out of context, right?
Typologically, yeah.
Beautiful. Now, the prophecy you make fun of in Isaiah 29, where the book is given to one who cannot read, saying, read this, he will say, I cannot read. The context doesn't allow for the Prophet Muhammad. But can the Prophet Muhammad fulfill that typologically? Does he fulfill that typologically?
If you're
Just
going to
that one
use
verse?
Islam typology, sure, but that's assuming
Okay,
Islam and then reading it into the
all right,
Bible. That's circular.
So the Prophet Muhammad fulfills Isaiah 29 typologically, and I'm justified in thinking that as a Muslim, right?
Within Islamic theology, sure.
Thank you very much. So he concedes
All
that the
right,
Prophet
fine, yeah.
Muhammad fulfills typology. Nice. All
Yeah,
right.
if you're going to assume Islam and then
so
use
far.
that to read the Bible, sure, but
All
that's
right.
circular. If you want to
All
do
right,
that, you want to admit
beautiful.
it's circular, go for it.
Libyano either does not understand typology and assume it's prophetic in the sense of telling of a future event, or he does not understand, and this whole point is intentional nonsense. Mike was clear, but in Libyano's closing, he thumps his chest, acting like Mike conceded.
In order to get away from the inevitable conclusion, he has to play semantics and dance around and try to claim that the Turks are Ottomans or that the Turks are Romans, that the Ottoman Empire really just is the Roman Empire, ladies and gents. That's what AIP wants us to believe.
And he couldn't answer me on the Roman Empire. Okay, I have pointed out he just laughed at the Ottomans' claim, which is weird. Okay, I argue the Roman Empire ended in 1204. Empire ended in 1204 when it broke up into smaller kingdoms. Same with the Western. That was never conquered by Islam. If we're going on this, though, if other people can come in and rule and claim to be Romans, like the Byzantines, who were Greek by descent, who spoke a different language, if they can claim to be Romans because they inherited the Roman Empire, even though they weren't Latin-speaking, ethnically Italians, then so can the Ottomans. So can the Russians. So can the Holy Roman Empire. But see, he doesn't deal with any of these historical issues because he can't. And he just acknowledged that. He conceded everything on that because he said, I don't know. I just go on what the secular historians say. But he won't do that when it comes to his interpretation of the Bible.
So, judging from just what Libyano thought his best points were, do you believe he did well? And more importantly, do you think he is honest?